Tastes like.
All right, that's the intro to the episode.
Damn it.
Just tastes like cocktail hour cinema.
My mom watches this show.
Cocktail hour cinema, talking drinks and cinema. We watch and eat some dinner, but we don't show you the dinner. It's cocktail hour cinema.
Cheers, everyone, and welcome to Cocktail Hour Cinema. My name is Brent.
I am Nico.
And I'm Emily.
And we are a weekly podcast show that talks about movies, TV shows, whatever we feel like talking about. And every week, the beautiful Emily makes us a drink themed off of beautiful Emily makes us a drink themed off of whatever we're talking about, which today is Dune!
Yay!
Again,
we're doing it again.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Emily.
You're going to need a drink for this whole explanation of what's been going on the last couple of weeks. So in honor of Dune, this is the Kwisatz Sazerac. It's a little spin on a classic Sazerac, but it's got spice in it.
The spice melange. Spice.
This is a really fun
spice.
cocktail. We're past spooky season, but it's still November, so pumpkin is still on the table in my book. You're going to do 2 ounces of rye. You can also do this with cognac. Like traditionally, a Sazerac, you can either do rye or cognac, whatever you like.
Cognac.
I like rye. I like that spiciness to it.
We know you like rye. Am I
Oh,
right?
yeah.
God damn it.
Am I
That was
right?
cute. Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to do a 1/2 ounce of pumpkin syrup. The instructions for that will also be in the bottom description. 3 dashes of peychauds bitters. A little like 1/4 ounce of absinthe. If you're able to, you okay over there?
I think Nico feels like he has to interject like every single thing that comes to his mind today.
You don't have to speak every thought out loud, you know.
Yes, I do.
Anyway, so with absinthe, if you are able to get like a little spray bottle, sometimes that's easier because you don't want a ton of absinthe flavor in this one. What I have seen some bars do is like they'll spray the inside of the glass so that it just like mists a little bit. I don't have a spray bottle, but if you can find one, do that. If not, 1/4 ounce or so. Our glasses are rimmed with demerara sugar and pumpkin pie spice. So you get a little extra yumminess there. You're gonna stir this cocktail, and then strain it. Oh, and then you're gonna garnish with a lemon twist and a gummy worm because worms are the most important part of Dune.
And it's in the deep here. It's
Yeah,
somewhere
it's-
down here, just like a real worm.
It's
I just make
waiting.
little vibrations
It'll
on top.
resurface when it
Yeah.
hears the vibrations of us
Yes.
sipping.
Yeah, yeah.
Doom, doom, doom.
That's what it sounds like when I drink a
Yeah.
cocktail. Yeah.
Let's go.
So, we want to talk about
We've been absent for a while.
the terrible misfortune of the last couple of weeks.
There's been hiccup after hiccup after hiccup after tragedy after tragedy.
You may have noticed that our last episode was not an actual episode because
Our Halloween episode.
Our Halloween episode. Yeah.
And we filmed a great skit for that.
I know. I hope you all like go back and actually watch the skit.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. We had a lot of fun.
It was a
filming
great
it.
episode too. That was one that I was
know,
pretty bummed that we lost.
So
But
Nico,
it
will you
was.
explain what happened with that one?
Well, for that one, I was messing with my microphone because it wasn't aimed at my mouth. It was kind of aimed at my chest. And so I was trying to adjust it, and the switch went off. And so 30 seconds into the show, we had no audio.
In this moment.
Yeah.
We'll just play it right now.
Yeah.
So how do you make this little concoction?
So this is
In this moment.
And we're back. And so now we have a rule: do not touch the microphones.
don't touch him.
I didn't agree with this rule because I touch it all the time and it's fine.
Right. So that
Mine doesn't have a switch on it, so
That's true. Yeah.
But we
this one-
duct taped the
this one's-
switch?
You are still recording.
we taped
We are
it.
still recording.
We
So that's
taped it,
that
we're
one. Another thing that happened is my cameras were stolen out of the trunk of my car. About $7,000 worth of camera stuff
Ugh,
was just gone.
sad.
And
And your window is broken.
my
That
window
also
was
fucking
broken,
sucks.
and it was raining that week.
And he had to walk
so,
uphill both ways in the snow.
So there's that one.
And then we lost another episode because somehow I didn't check that both of the lights were on for both Emily's and I's audio, which
So we we only had one. We just had you, and Emily's mic was dead the whole time.
Yeah.
And I didn't
And I'm the
notice
most
that
important one, obviously.
Right.
Obviously,
so.
she's standing.
We
in
have
the
no
middle.
one monitoring the recording of all these devices. We're just hitting record and we're running to our seats.
We say producer Ryan, but he's actually just standing. He's
literally
sitting on the couch
playing
behind us
video
playing video
Playing
games.
video games. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say he's not an actual producer. He's helpful sometimes.
He's helpful, but
Right. And we went to
producer
go
distraction.
watch Eternals.
Oh yeah, God.
And
Because we were like, oh, we'll do like a double decker. We'll
Our
re-record the Dune episode, and we'll also do Eternals.
we get there and
To the theater.
to the theater. We're in our seats, and the projector just
It's broken.
was broken. And they're
no,
like,
no, thank you today.
No.
yeah, they were like, you can't.
Just kidding. No movie. No movie.
No movie. No watch. And we're like, we can't catch a fucking break.
No.
We've been cursed.
Because we've lost 2 other episodes also before this whole string of events.
Yeah.
We lost our.
We're 4 episodes deep now.
Yeah.
There are 4 dead episodes.
Well, because
that
our-
were
We don't have that many
filmed.
episodes.
4. We have what? 16 episodes.
Because
now?
we
like
lost
that,
we
yeah.
lost our One Night in Miami episode. That one just
Yeah.
is completely gone.
That one's gone.
We lost our like what I did on summer vacation one because Brent fucked up the levels, and so he sounded
Gone.
sounds like a BART conductor the whole
Yeah.
time. Blah, 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 blah.
Which one was that one?
That was like our it was the one right before Dear Evan Hansen. We were coming back and we were like, oh, we're
Oh,
gonna
our
talk about
first
like
one back after like 3 months off, and that episode sucked anyway. So I'm actually not.
hey, I
too
got
mad at that one.
that was the birth of the watermelon boats, and nobody
Oh,
has any context.
I guess this is a good time to explain that
Oh,
for anyone
right.
who's been curious
So
about that.
our watermelon boat score came from that episode. That's not even in existence anymore. So
And it was originally out of 21 watermelon boats because we were
Yeah.
just feeling spicy.
I thought it made sense. You know, we're drinking
Because the cocktail
show,
had
you know.
had little watermelon boat
Right.
in it.
I think the Dear Evan Hansen one we did the 21 watermelon boats.
That was the one episode we did. 'em.
We did.
Yeah,
yes.
and then after that, now we're just at 10.
Nico's
And then
like,
after that
I don't
was
want to
Venom,
edit
and we didn't-
21 little boat images.
It's
Let's
like editing, and then it's hard to really compute
just- like
for
a
me,
percentage, yeah,
the
like
percentage of how much you really enjoyed it.
a real grade.
Because I gave it 14 watermelon boats.
Yeah. Dear
I
Evan
didn't even
Hansen.
like that
And Brent
movie.
loved it, and I didn't like it, and he gave it a lesser score.
I didn't love it. I just liked it more than you, and I gave it 14
He
watermelons.
loves
I'm like,
it.
wait,
It's his
hold
favorite
on.
movie.
And I'm like, wait, yeah,
Don't
I
lie.
guess 14 out of 21 is pretty high. And then I went back down to 8.
So
Anyway.
that's a nice little play-by-play of the fuckery of Cocktail Hour
Just
Cinema.
a
But
fuckery.
you know what? We're locked in. We got a checklist.
We have a
checklist.
checklist. We literally went down everything that could go wrong. All we need
Something
is,
a producer would have done right from the get
Yeah,
if we
you
had
know.
a producer.
yeah, all we
Something,
need
yeah.
is video and audio. That's all we need.
And drinks. Don't forget the drinks.
We need drinks. We need drinks.
The only way I could fuck this up is if I accidentally like poisoned both of you. Like,
But
oh
we-
no, I added Windex instead of absinthe. No.
Start throwing up mid-episode.
Best episode ever, honestly.
Oh my god.
All right, so themed off of Dune, I put laxative in all of our drinks because I don't know, brown desert. I don't know.
Sounds about right.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's rough.
That'll be in the Eternals when you're
Make your eyes
eternally
blue.
on the toilet. Yeah, make your eyes blue. God damn it.
So we're doing Dune again because it deserves
We're doing
it.
Dune.
We're doing Dune again. It's a
Doing it
incredible
again.
movie that we all very much enjoyed, and
Yeah.
we all actually did our homework on this one, and we loved it, and we're going to talk about it.
I've
now.
watched it 3 times already at this point. I watched
Seen
it last night.
twice.
Yeah, we're both at twice too.
Yeah, twice. I'm at 3 times, so I'm better than them.
So
That's how that works.
I
gonna-
read the book, bitch.
I own the book.
It's been sitting on his floor for months. Every time I
I'll
come
do you one
over,
better.
every
I
time I'm
own
like,
the book.
I own the book, all right? Bitch.
So, being that you've actually read the book, do you want to do a little play-by-play for the story, real quick?
oh gosh,
Little short
Oof.
little run through.
It's very hard to nail down Dune. Okay, so Paul Atreides, he's the main character. Timothy Chalamet. His family is. They gotta go. Ryan, do you want?
I'll do it. I'll do
hard.
it.
We just
okay?
need bullet points
Yeah.
just for
Arrakis, big desert planet.
Hold on. The story centers around the transition of power. There's a planet called Atreides.
No,
the har-
Arrakis.
Fuck. Arrakis. I already fucked this
You
up.
go for it. I'll correct.
Okay. Let's do like a Mad Lib. I'll just like, there's a planet called,
Arrakis.
and currently the evil family, the
Harkonnens.
uh,
I love this. Keep going.
I like this.
the emperor decided to move them off the most powerful planet, which is,
Arrakis.
and instead put in the
Atreides.
right.
Duke Leto Atreides is Oscar Isaac.
Right.
He's daddy.
There's a transition of power here, and that's where the kind of story unfolds. The Atreides, they're kind of like, this is very Game of Thrones. Like there's different
Yes,
houses,
very
but
much.
there's different, but they're on different planets. This planet it's full of this spice, which is the most valuable thing in the universe.
It's valuable. Thanks for asking, producer Ryan. It's
Oh, yeah.
valuable because it allows for intergalactic travel.
Right. And because all these planets are so far away from each
It's
other.
oil. Spoiler alert, it's
Basically
oil.
oil.
It's a euphemism.
And Arrakis is like the Middle East, kind of.
Yeah,
It's very obvious.
that kind of it is.
Yeah. And this book was made in the 60s when like drugs were like really fucking starting to kick in, right? Like LSD was like being invented. So like the spice is a hallucinogenic that also does like this. It has healing properties. It allows people to like do
the people of
complex
Arrakis.
Arrakis.
Arachnis. Arachnophobia. The people of Arrakis.
The Fremen.
The Fremen.
They're the
also use it-
indigenous people. They're not the only people that live there, but they are like
They use the spice as more of like a spiritual thing. It's not, it's not their currency. So they're there trying to protect their people, their way of life, and they're also making it really, really hard for anybody who's trying to take the spice from the planet. And therein lies the power battle that takes place.
It's
on
about colonialism.
Yeah, it's basically
Pretty much,
colonialism.
yeah. And on top of all that, there is also this like religious witch cult called the Bene Gesserit,
Nailed it.
and they this is like a whole different plot that's happening alongside this whole transition to power thing. There's the one, and they call it the
Kwisatz Sazerac.
right.
That's what the cocktail's named after.
Right. And what I really found interesting was one of the witches was like, our designs are measured in centuries, and there are other suitors for this role. And Paul doesn't really believe in himself that much. He's just a wee little teen of 15 years old, although Timothée Chalamet's 24 years old.
Yeah, but he looks like a cursed
He
Victorian
does.
child.
He is very
Yeah.
thin.
He's a tiny little boy.
Can he
He's a
even
little
grow
boy.
a beard?
No.
No,
Not
he's
yet.
not. He's
No
a
chance.
very handsome man, but he cannot grow a beard.
And Paul being the
It
main
would look so
character,
weird with
Yeah, he would.
his like the story arc for Paul is basically like his dad wants him to take over the house. His mom believes that he could be the one, essentially, to like usher in this new era of humanity. And he doesn't think he's either of them, and he's slowly trying to figure it out throughout the course of the movie.
He's a humble character.
Yeah.
He doesn't think of himself so highly.
He's
In the
he's
movie?
in part one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well,
by the end of part one, he's starting to
We're
realize
talking about
like
part one. We're talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
he's starting off as a
I'm
humble
like,
character.
don't give Paul too much credit.
Oh,
He's not.
I am.
no, but in this movie, you get to see that transition from a guy who doesn't believe in himself at all to a guy who
No.
actually believes like, holy shit, I might actually be.
He has a freak out.
That's
At the end of the movie, he has a freak out. With
Kwisatz Sazerac.
what I said.
Kwisatz.
what, a queef sack?
A queef
saddle
sack.
rack?
Sat-
Saddle rack.
Saddle rack.
Sandal
Oh,
rack.
I love
Yeah.
saddle rack.
Yeah, queef sack, saddle rack.
right?
Right, producer?
Right? I think I pronounced that right. Yeah. So
Anyway, so
So that's basically the gist.
we tried to
There's
keep it
a
short.
lot-
We didn't at all.
what's great about this movie is that there is a lot of shit going on, which is very great for a novel to like. They could spend time doing as much exposition as they can. This movie did a lot of exposition.
Exhibition?
Exhibition.
That's a whole different
and I know
movie.
that like a lot of critics knocked it on that. Like this movie is just basically one big exposition dump after the next. And I really enjoy exposition. I don't know
Me too.
why a lot of people don't, but
I enjoyed
actually
it
do
in this movie for sure. The
Right,
way that
right.
they did it
Right.
was
Well, because this world's interesting. The families are
Yeah.
interesting. Like I want to learn more about it, and they're telling me more in a way that's satisfying. I don't mind exposition at all. I don't know why I can't fucking say that word right.
director Denis Villeneuve he read this book when he was 14 years old. He's been a huge fan of
Dennis Villeneuve.
Dennis Villeneuve.
it. And he's been thinking about how he would make this movie since he was 14 years old.
Yeah.
It's a pretty, like...
He said, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, he said he's the only director who could do this. Like he said that
And
with
I believe it.
confidence in himself. He's like, I need to be the one to do Dune.
I mean, Denis made a movie like Arrival work. So that in and of itself is just a huge like accomplishment, because that movie like Arrival is simple at its core, but like when you watch the whole movie you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like it's very conceptual and very I don't know the word I want to look for, but
I feel like everything he does is just so fucking thought out.
Yeah.
Like watching an interview with Denis and then rewatching Dune last night, you really start to realize like the fucking grandiose detail in every single shot. Like every single house. Denis said he likes to think of this not as a sci-fi but as sort of like a timepiece. Like he wanted each house to feel ancient in its own separate way.
Yeah.
And I think he pulls it off. Like,
absolutely.
It's incredible that every house, even though this takes place, it's 10,000 AD essentially, which in our time is essentially 21,000
AG. Isn't it AG?
G, yeah, after Guild. Yeah. Which the Guild is essentially...
Y'all did your research. I love it.
Actually, you know what? It was funny. I actually remember that because Brent said
talking about it on the first episode,
and then he forgot it. So,
I liked
I'm just mirroring the knowledge that you gave me the last time we shot this episode.
Well, that's how
I
my
liked
brain
the
works.
first
It's
time
just
we
in
were.
and out.
I liked the first time we recorded this better because I felt way smarter. Like,
now we all know each other's information.
yeah.
But anyway, it takes place 20,000 years from now, and one huge thing that we didn't talk about is that they decided to get rid of AI. They didn't like AI, so they decided we're just going to get rid of AI, but they still have like elements of it through people.
The mentats.
The mentats, basically.
Right.
You see a shot of this guy who like does this.
Thufir, how what?
What is it?
Thufir, how what?
Thufi is doing this like
floofy.
thing with his eyes, and that means he's calculating, and
He's a
that's
good boy.
essentially their.
Good
He
boy.
is a good boy.
He's their human calculators in the time,
Yeah.
but they're not anti-technology. Obviously, they have like insane fucking technology all around
Yeah,
them.
but there's no computers that can think at
AI.
all.
Yeah, they're not. They don't have computers that are bettering
That
themselves.
can
Also,
compute.
you have to understand, this book was released in 1965.
Oh, right. There was no
Yeah.
computers.
There was no internet then. Like
Right.
there was no,
Yeah.
concept of that. So Frank Herbert, like to be so
was a
thinking
futurist.
so far
Yeah.
ahead
Mhm.
to be like, oh, and also it's going to be detrimental to their society, so they're going to, get rid of that.
Computers were so rudimentary at the time,
Mhm.
and he saw the potential of where computers can take us. Right now, we're basically all cyborgs. We all have cell phones, or we're scrolling through
Yeah.
it.
Tiny
My phone told
little-
me that I spend 5 hours and 17 minutes a day on it, and that's down 25% from last week. And I was like, yes. I'm like, fuck, I sleep like 8 hours a day. And then,
time on your phone.
but not just that, I'm on
You're
my
on your computer the other 8
and
hours
then when
a
I
day.
rest from my computer, I'm on my TV watching something.
Dude, I love
I didn't
leaving.
realize how much screen time I do. I mean,
Yeah.
most of my day is screen time. That's
Yeah.
all I do is screen time.
I love, leaving my office with my big screen and coming home to my bigger screen and my little screen. Yeah.
Yes.
that's-
Thank God I have a fucking dog. I walk her, and I have a rule like no headphones and just raw dog the walk. You know?
Yeah,
You gotta.
I mean, you're watching this on YouTube right now. I think everyone's aware of. Yeah, we're cyborgs already.
Also,
but-
to be clear, the mentats are like a quick little. They don't mention them like
The
really
They
at
word
all.
explain it.
mentat
Yeah.
is not even mentioned in the entire movie.
And in the book, Paul is actually training to be a mentat, and that's really what he wants
Oh,
to do, which
interesting.
is
also
why
in the
he's
books,
like,
they
I
have
don't want to
red
be.
lips, and in this one they just have a little
I think that's
thing.
probably much better. That's
Oh, it's way more stylish. That looks really cool. Like red lips. Like, oh,
Also,
he's
they
wearing lipstick.
Uh,
What's going on here?
Natalie Portman in Star Wars much?
Queen Amidala.
What?
I mean, let's talk about
She-
all the things that
Queen
Dune
Amidala.
stole.
Oh, how
Let's
did I
talk about
know
all
that?
the things that Dune stole from Star Wars real
Oh,
quick.
let's roll through. It's funny, like I watched it with Isabel last night, and she was like, "Dude, I see so much Star Wars in this. Like the sand crawlers the Jawas have, and the fucking the spice mining
Yeah.
The
thing.
voice and the Force.
Mhm.
Holy
Same
shit!
thing.
I mean, then they're
Not
obviously
the same-
different.
that's
Ryan's
a
shitting
big
on Greg right now. They're obviously
oversimplification,
different. But
the first Force thing we see in A New Hope is that George Lucas clearly stole a lot from Dune.
Put the meme
literally-
down here with
Oh right, yeah.
Star Wars cheating off of Dune's test.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, but there's so many like just visual elements, and also we think that Denis maybe leaned into those maybe a little bit more than he should have. Like,
just to kind of be like,
No, I like it.
oh, I liked it too, but it's
Yeah.
like, hey, like
hey,
Star Wars stole from Dune.
Yeah, that's-
Like when
Dune
the
came
worms
first.
come up and like swallow things, it looks like the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know. Also, I want to say this, and we talked about this last night. Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah.
It's a name that fucking sticks out in the movie more than anything else. You know, everyone else has like Paul Atreides. There's like, you know, everyone has like a fucking cool name, and then there's like Duncan, Idaho. You know, it's like kind of like.
But
The lead character's name is Paul.
right.
I know, but Duncan, Idaho, Paul
It's-
Atreides.
It's definitely
sounds-
silly, but yeah, there was like a TikTok that I sent y'all where it's like, think of like as you said, this is 20,000 years ahead of like
Oh,
where we are.
so- yeah, you sent me this.
Idaho is an ancient
Civilization. name.
civilization at that
This is
point. So it's
exotic.
like
It's an exotic
Gilgamesh, Babylon. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. Like it's
That
just
is a
as
very good
exotic.
So we were thinking about this, right? And it's like, okay, Idaho, name of a state. Duncan, regular white
Donuts.
man name, right? George Lucas pulled a lot of things from Dune.
Yeah, I'm like, Star Wars
Okay.
is about a kid named Luke. It's
right,
not.
right. But hold
like-
on. I'm getting to something here. What's another name of a state? Indiana. It's another white person's name. Jones.
Gotcha.
Indiana Jones, Duncan, Idaho. He was the one who wrote the idea for Indiana Jones. Steven Spielberg directed it. But I feel like it's like George just loves Dune and just taking things from it, you know? Like, Duncan, Idaho, that's a cool name.
I like
And then
that.
like, what's another name of a state?
Jones.
Big worms. Big worms.
What's
yeah,
a white
write that
person's
down.
last name? Neil
Write that down.
Montana. Neil Montana.
Hannah Montana.
There you go.
The Emperor.
Same thing.
Yeah, write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
Walsh, Rhode Island.
That's a joke
That's got
for
a
no
ring to it,
one.
man.
That's
got
a joke
ring to
for no one.
That's a joke for us. And maybe like 3 other people.
Let's talk about the voice and how they chose to show what the voice was, because I thought
God,
this was
so
such a
good.
cool note from Denis. There's a video on YouTube that we've watched. It's basically Denis talking through
It's a breakdown of a scene.
a breakdown of a scene, and he talks about when they first used the voice and how he wanted to portray it. And he's like, I thought it'd be weird for Paul just to be like walking like a zombie. I guess we should explain what the voice does exactly first. So how would you say her name? The Mother Superior? Her character?
She's the Mother Superior.
Mother
Bene
Superior.
Gesserit.
Anyway, the
yeah.
Bene Gesserit, the witch.
She's a witch. Space
Uh,
witch.
She tells Paul to come here. She's like, come here and kneel.
Although that's not actually the first time we see it. We see it at the table.
That's true,
First,
yeah,
but
him-
this
Paul
is the
trying to use
first
it.
like actual use of
Pause.
it.
I watched it last night, and there is a really like 2-second fucking shot that they intercut into the sequence where Paul like looks at her for the first time, and then he sees himself walking to her, and then it cuts back to him, and he hasn't taken a single
Really?
step. And so that kind of shows you that he can see the future a little bit, just like it's an echo. Like he knows what's about to happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting.
Well,
Watching
and-
for the third time, I noticed that. But like,
And him touching his neck before he walks into that room as like a foreshadowing of her holding the needle to his neck. He touches the exact same part of his
The
neck. before he
Gom
walks in.
Jabbar.
Yeah.
the golden jabber,
But anyway, they decided like, oh, do I want him
Jabba
to...
the Hutt.
Shut up.
What if his name was Gom Jabba the Hutt? Like, God damn it, man.
George, have a single thought.
Just one. Just one, George.
Visual thought.
The
The Michael Scott.
Yeah, Michael Scott.
Yeah, it's still coming up.
yeah.
Anyway, he was like, I thought it'd be weird for him to act like a zombie and like, walk over to her. So it was so interesting how they decided to do it. They basically used a little quick dolly shot while turning off the lights to make it feel like a moment of narcolepsy or a
A little coma.
micro
micro
coma.
is
Yeah.
what he said, yeah.
Hope said both. Yeah, microcoma and narcolepsy. But it happens like instantaneously, and all of a sudden you're with the character through it. So basically you're here. All of a sudden you see like everything kind of move and blur. He like let the camera blur instead of trying to hold focus on Paul, and then all of a sudden he's just there in front of her, and it's like, okay, cool. Now it's such a cool idea because we got to understand how the voice works kind of right off the bat on this like really early scene. And that first scene,
it was almost a jump scare too, because that whole sequence beforehand was quiet. And like you go into this room, and you see like Denis calls it like a chess figure that's like towering and leaning and just like dark and ominous. And then like I remember like people jumping in the audience like when that scene happened.
Because it's loud and it's like there's something, I need to watch it again, but there's something about like the sound almost sounds delayed, but like it's
there's an echo because I was like waiting for it and like I wanted to break it down in my head like what was exactly happening, the layers of what he was doing, and the sound was like there's like this deep bassy thing that happens, and then also there's like this like scratchy witchiness thing that's like really quiet. She's like, come here.
There's multiple layers of
that's
almost
great,
like
by the way.
Yeah, that's gonna sound awesome.
There's multiple layers of like a demonic voice. And
demonic, yeah.
Denis said he wanted the voice to channel voices from their ancestors.
Yeah.
But specifically, and this was more for him than for anybody else, specifically the voices of their grandmothers. Because he said he had a really strong connection with his grandmother and his maternal side of his family. So if you pay attention throughout the movie, anytime someone uses the voice, it's usually more feminine. And it's almost always calling back to like to hearken some sort of voices of the
hearkening
Shut
back
up.
to something.
Denis really so femininity is a big theme in Dune. Like the Bene Gesserit are like incredibly powerful and all women. Denis, I think,
So progressive.
Yeah.
Herbert.
No, genuinely it was for especially for 1965.
Yeah.
They're not evil. They're
They
complicated.
have their own designs.
They're complicated.
That are not always great.
You're saying
No
religion
one's
is evil?
like good in Dune, really, if you break it down.
Saying all religion is evil, Nico?
Canceled. But Denis really like he expanded some of the female roles in this adaptation of Dune, but in a way that still felt true to the book. It wasn't just like, let's make all the women even more powerful. It was like, no, they already are powerful in the story, but let's like expand them a little bit more.
And gender swap.
Yes, Liette Kynes gets to is a woman. Like it's that character's gender is never important in the book at all.
Right.
So
it's okay
like,
to gender swap when the gender isn't important at all.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, fuck,
most
why not?
characters are like their gender isn't important.
Like she's a scientist.
They're just a human being doing things in the story.
Yeah.
Their gender doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Paul's gender is important because they wanted the Bene Gesserit wanted him to be a woman, a girl.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fact that he was a boy,
they're not okay with
like,
it.
there was that scene where she was like, you were supposed to have a girl.
Yeah.
And
but then also like with Lady Jessica, I feel like her character gets to be a lot more in this. I love that
she has to be a woman because she birthed Paul.
I mean, yeah.
she's amazing in this movie, by the way.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Watching her again was
just,
like,
yeah, sorry.
Let the woman speak.
Yeah, let
Brett.
the woman speak. Jesus
Jeez,
Christ.
So anyway, what was I?
Denis made a point that he was like, he said that he wanted Jessica to be more of like a warrior priestess rather than space nun, because that's kind of how you can interpret it in the book, where it's like, oh yeah, a bunch of nuns, and it's like, nah, but she's a fucking badass.
I like the space nun idea. That should be its own movie, a space nun.
Space nun.
Yeah,
I
like
like
a
that.
B movie,
like a sequel to Spaceballs, but space nuns.
Space nuns.
Yeah, like instead of making fun of Star Wars, they make fun of Dune.
It's like sister.
Yeah,
it's like,
wow, this is a good
it's
idea.
like Sazerac in space.
Layers.
Let's fucking
Let's
go.
make this movie.
Whoopi, let's go. Let's do this.
She's a big fan of the show.
Whoopi loves the show.
So, yeah.
But
shout out Whoopi. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, that was all. I want to talk about the fucking costumes.
Talk about the costumes.
I love the
Yeah.
costumes.
Talk
so
about
much.
the costumes.
Jacqueline West and Bob Morgan were the costume designers in this. We mentioned this in the Lost episode, but like Brent is an audio guy, Nico is like a visual guy, and I am a fucking costume bitch.
We have our bases all we're set.
The
here.
moment that like the Emperor's people kind of got off the ship and like all their costumes, I was just like, it looks so expensive and like you said, like ancient.
Yeah,
everything
it's futuristic and ancient at the same time. Somehow they pulled that off.
That is my jam.
I love that scene when like that the transition of power, the sequence when like the big orb comes down.
They're kind of
Yeah.
Pope looking with
And they're all
with veils.
But then
and
like you can't see their faces, and Denis like isolates them out, and there's like this tone of like something dark is happening.
Yeah.
here. Something unsettling. But
Mhm.
it's supposed to be like this, like, oh, you're about to acquire the most important planet on the
Yeah.
in the universe.
yeah,
The looks between Timothy Chalamet and the Bene Gesserit during that scene are
terrifying.
telling. Yeah.
Yeah.
They talked about like they were inspired a lot with all of the different planets and everything by Greek and Roman tragedies and tarot cards, which I think, especially for the Bene Gesserit, that was very apt.
Very apt.
Jessica's outfits, like when she arrives on Arrakis, she has like this cool jeweled veil thing and lots of like layers of fabric that's reminiscent of like a desert planet. So it's lots of reds and oranges and that kind of thing. Like everything makes sense and it's beautiful, which I think is the best way to do costumes, because it's like you can make something that's really beautiful, but then you're like, but in practicality that doesn't look like it actually fits in that world.
Yeah, they doing it right.
Fuck you. The still suits.
Part one.
They fucking nailed the still suits.
They did.
They had to be like custom made for every individual person because they like fit like an absolute glove. And then they also had to, they shot in Jordan. Like they were filming in the fucking desert for a lot of this. So they also had to make it like Under Armour. So it's practical and it looks real cool.
Yeah, Jason Momoa was saying that like he just like his ass was just sweaty.
Oh,
like,
I'll bet.
He said there was a pool of sweat in his ass the whole time.
They said a lot of the filming had to be done between like 5 and 7 a.m. and 5 and 7 p.m. Just because they literally couldn't shoot. In
Also,
Also
because
the lighting.
the light is
Yeah.
the best there. I mean, you could even tell that like most of the sequences were done at dawn and in the evening because like you don't want to shoot high noon in the desert unless you want
Especially in that
to
desert.
showcase it's hot out today.
Yeah.
Not
So
that
the-
this is beautiful.
There's that scene in the middle where Paul's character is talking to like the groundskeeper type character who's watering the palms.
The palm trees, yeah.
And that guy is like sweaty as hell.
Yeah, that was shot at noon.
And
that was not
Timothy,
shot.
Timothy,
at
doesn't
noon.
have, Timothy doesn't have a bead of sweat on his forehead. I was like, they should have just let him sit out there for about 5
He's
minutes.
standing
and
in
then
the
shot it.
shade, and he
He's
just
not.
walked
He's in the
out.
sun.
No, he's in the shade. He's in one of the shade of the palms.
I mean, the guy's literally telling him like, you shouldn't be out here right now.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
your
no, but
skin
he's
tone.
standing in the shade of the palms.
Still, it's so hot. He's
I know, but
like,
sweat.
I
the other guy's
noticed that.
like dripping sweat. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's like the one. The
he's
one
also
thing
been
I
out
can
there
find.
the whole time.
I know, but
Is that going to affect your watermelon boat score? Is that scene?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's why. That exact reason is why
Well,
I'll never give 10 watermelon boats.
Maybe one of the powers of the Kwisatz Sazerac is that you're not as affected by the sun. Maybe you don't sweat.
He's extra
maybe.
sensitive to the spice.
Fucking lightweight.
Someone's never done LSD before.
Grow up, Paul.
Grow up, Paul. Jesus Christ.
So, costumes incredible.
Do you want to talk about
I
the
want to talk
score?
about the music a little
Yeah.
bit.
You know what? Can we talk about maybe a shot bet?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to do a little trivia bit?
Right. We only have 5 minutes left in the show.
Oh gosh.
No, we have more than that. But let's go on.
We don't.
Just make it a longer episode. It'll be fine.
It's gonna be slightly longer because we got to talk about Hans Zimmer for a while.
Shot bet.
Did he just cheat?
I don't have the answers marked on here.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read a single word on that. I just saw blue pen on paper. That's
Yeah.
it. Is it blue?
It's black.
I don't even. I
Whoa,
can't.
whoa, whoa.
I can't even see
It's
color.
Black. She shows it.
I don't have them marked at all.
All right, I'm not looking.
So in our last episode, I quizzed the boys on a lot of different Dune-y kind of words, but I'm bummed because they were really fucking good questions and now I can't reuse them, especially now that you've each seen them.
Thanks to Brent.
Yeah, thanks, Brent.
We gonna do this?
Ruining my fun
You
segment.
want to walk back?
Where's
All
my
right.
marker? Come on, grow up.
Jesus Christ.
Also, one of the pens has a bite mark in it. Like,
Starbucks. That's Starbucks.
yeah, totally Starbucks. Yeah, definitely. Brent,
I'm
do you
not
have a pen?
I'm not buying that
Holy
shit.
Starbucks.
God.
Okay, so as the
Dom
residents,
DeMar over
Felt
here.
gross.
I was so excited about my questions last time. These ones had to be written quickly, but it'll be fine. Okay, which one
Hurry
of
up.
these? Shut up. Which one of these is the head of the Bene Gesserit? A. Shout out Mapes.
Wait, hold on. So are we doing A, B, C, and D
Yes.
for this one?
A-
How many
A, B, and
questions?
C.
How many questions?
3 questions.
Okay, so 1.
Mother Superior or no?
Mother Superior is their title. Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Shout out Mapes.
Okay, what's number 1?
Which one of these is the Mother Superior of the Bene Gesserit?
Okay.
Shout out Mapes,
Shout out. Shout out to Mapes.
Mohaim, or Liet Kynes. A, B, and C, respectively.
Say him again.
What was B?
Por favor.
Mohaim.
Oh, Mohaim Bapes.
Shout out Mapes is
Shout out
one
Mapes.
is A. Mohaim is B. Then Liet Kynes is C.
Okay.
I've said multiple of these names already.
Okay. Well, okay, let's go to 2.
Got it?
'Cause
Okay.
I got that one wrong, probably.
I think so too.
Shot in the dark.
This one is A, B, C, or D. Which one of these is not a Dune character?
Luke Skywalker.
Peter, Stilgar, Kinga, or Jameis?
Say that one more time.
A. Peter, B. Stilgar, C. Kinga, or D. Jameis?
This one's harder than last week.
This is way harder. I knew. I won last week, by the way. I won this challenge last week.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose this week anyway. So
All right. Last question. Which of these does not refer to a messiah? Kwisatz Sazerac, Muad'Dib, or Lisan al-Gaib? You just saw the movie again last night.
so did I, and I still am
Say it one more time.
A. Kwisatz Sazerac, B. Muad'Dib, or C. Lisan al-Gaib?
They all sound right to me.
I know.
okay.
All right, you got him?
Sure.
Okay. First question. What did you put?
Oh fuck, we have the exact same answers.
Oh shit.
Well, you're both wrong on the first one. It's
Oh.
Mohaim.
It's A, isn't it?
No, it's Mohaim. B.
God damn it.
Shout out A. Shout out Mapes is the
Shout out
Fremen
Mapes.
the Fremen woman who like works
That's right. Shit.
in the house.
Show your board.
Second one. What did y'all put for which one is not a Dune character?
C.
You put C. Kinga. You are correct.
Yeah.
Kinga is from Eternals.
I know. I knew that one. I'm like, she was writing really quickly. I just saw Eternals last night. I'm like, okay, she definitely did
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And the last one. Which one did you say is
we
not?
both put B.
As a trick question, they all are.
I knew
What
it.
an asshole!
Technically, you're the
Jerk.
most correct.
You bitch.
Jerk.
Technically, you're the most correct because that one doesn't literally mean Messiah, but that's you'll see in Dune Part 2.
Nerd.
Wait, okay, what's the
Excuse
name
me.
of the worm? What do they call the worm?
Shai Hulud.
See, I always.
I didn't want to use that because I literally texted you Shai Hulud
I
last
know,
night.
but
I
like-
thought you-
But I was hoping that was a hint.
Me too.
Uh,
Well, fuck.
So
you're tied.
Tiebreaker.
Oh,
Oh,
Think of one off the top.
tiebreaker.
Think of one off
Okay,
the
yeah,
top.
yeah. I like this. I like this. Ryan likes it too.
Live on air.
Ryan pressed
Tiebreaker.
pause on
Ryan
his
likes
video
it.
game. This is huge.
This is huge.
Huge. This is huge.
Huge.
Huge worm.
we're gonna cut to a little break.
And we're back.
Okay. Which one of these is a Fremen city?
Shit.
A Caladan, a Siege, or a Chani?
Wait. I feel like this is a trick question.
I know one of those words.
A Caladan, a Siege, or a Chani?
Got it.
All right. What did you say?
Siege.
A. Caladan.
Brent's right.
Yeah! Shot bet. Master.
He's not gonna make a graphic for you.
I know. Why won't he make a graphic?
Because he
for
doesn't
me?
like us.
Only me.
The power of
I'm not
editing.
giving you Soko this week. Are you happy?
Yay! What do you give me?
I thought it was I thought it was a trick question because I thought
Smoky.
possibly. I knew that their cities were named Sieges, but I didn't
Yeah.
know
Well, yeah,
if,
I knew
like
Siege. What's Caladan?
Caladan's the planet that the Atreides are from.
idiot.
Fucking idiot.
What an
Well, I
idiot.
knew that.
Well,
Wait,
clearly you
whoa,
didn't.
What was the question?
Which one of these is a Fremen city?
Fremen city.
Fremen.
Caladan is where the Atreides are from, right?
Yeah, the Fremen are on Arrakis. They're the desert people.
Uh-huh. I know that.
Do you need to
But
go
the
over this again?
Atreides are from Caladan.
Yeah, that's not what the question.
And we're
Am I
back.
taking crazy pills?
Yeah, you are. Let's blow right by it.
Fremen are
I'll
the-
explain it to you afterwards.
Okay, after the show.
Jesus Christ.
Hans Zimmer did the soundtrack. Hans Zimmer is a fucking legend.
Bagpipes, big rakaka, fucking drums, all
So-
of it.
He invented new instruments for the soundtrack.
He did.
So Hans Zimmer invented new instruments for the soundtrack.
Oh my
Do
god,
a little-
Hans Zimmer invented new instruments for the soundtrack?
This is from New York
Hans,
Times.
so hot right now.
He's so hot right now. He's been so hot forever.
That Hans.
Does he have an Oscar?
Of course he does.
Dude, he's got to have like multiple Oscars by now.
He's
But I'm wondering if he's one of those that like doesn't have one and like should have
She-
I
one.
think
Yeah,
he's
bet.
got. I think he's got a lot.
Drop it. We just did one, but let's do another for Emily.
I'm in.
All right, you're extending your own work. I love
Fremen.
it. I love it.
Let's go.
How many Oscars, if any?
Ooh.
Ooh, there you go.
How
yeah.
many?
How many, if any,
Okay.
does Hans Zimmer have?
Okay.
I'm gonna go bold.
I saw that big old zero. That's
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
I think he might be one of those ones that like.
I don't think so.
What do you think?
2.
3.
3?
Okay. We'll
I
be
say
right back.
0. I got it.
2 is probably.
Are we back? Are we back?
Yeah.
It's 1.
It's 1.
So it's a tie between. So you take the shot.
Yeah.
No, I got 3 and you got 2.
It's 1.
It's 1.
So I'm closer.
You are the most wrong.
You're the most wrong because Emily has 0. I have 2.
I'm not the most wrong.
Yes, you are.
Okay,
literally
You're off
by
2
numbers.
Oscars.
Lion King, by the way, is the only one he has an Oscar for.
Oh.
So I knew Lion King.
God, he's the Lion King?
Yeah,
I
I-
knew that.
Shut
I knew that.
up.
No, I knew
I
Lion
knew
King.
that.
I knew Lion King, so I knew there was one. But I thought he won one for Inception too, and I guess I was wrong.
No. The Bois.
Yeah, because it was like game changing
No
when he did
Oscars
it.
for the Bois. Maybe he'll get it for the Rakakakaka.
So anyway,
Hakuna Matata.
to go along the idea of like
he didn't write
what he
that.
did for what he did for Inception and Interstellar, this kind of felt like a blend of the two. Like it was spatial instead of like long. There was Bois, dude. There was
There were
Bois.
Some Bois.
There were so many Bois.
Minimal Bois.
Oh my God,
for
there's
Hans
so
Zimmer.
many Bois.
The Atreides when they first arrive at Dune, I
Dude, the
noticed this last
bagpipes
night.
are sick.
There's the bagpipes, but then like there's literally Inception horns that
Yeah.
come out of the spaceships.
You-
and there's even a shot of it
Yeah,
going
but is that-
and then the dust flows from like the speaker.
Yeah, but
May I
is
tell you
that
one
is
more
that
off the
score
top of my head?
or is that
May I tell you one more off the top of my head?
Yeah.
The scene when he has his hand in the box of the Bene Gesserit and he's like, he's realizing his own power. When he looks up and meets her eye line,
Hans is the king of the
it's
bois.
awesome.
He invented the bois. Hey,
Yeah, but I really
I thought that was
like-
Ryan. That dog bark.
You
I
thought
was
that
Ryan.
Starbuck was Ryan?
I thought that was Ryan for a second.
He was upset about us talking about Hans Zimmer.
He's like, so anyway, let me
right.
get this out. Let me get this out about Hans. This is from New York Times. Along with synthesizers, you can hear scraping metal, Indian bamboo flutes, Irish whistles, a juddering drum phrase that Zimmer calls an anti-groove, seismic rumbles of distorted guitar, a war horn that is actually a cello and singing that defies Western musical notation, just to name a few of these things. When he had his hand in the Bene Gesserit box, it's basically a shit ton of different voices screaming that he compressed like a bajillion times.
Love that.
okay.
There's so much interesting shit that he does that he's completely his own unique person. And I know we talked about how this soundtrack is different than other soundtracks he's done, but it's still to me very, very, very Hans Zimmer, and I really hope that he wins something for it.
Yeah. Greg Fraser, the cinematographer, is also great. He's also doing the Batman. He also did
Rogue One.
Very great. All right, guys, that's enough for Cocktail Hour Cinema.
Oh no, we're watermelon boats. Watermelon boats.
Yeah, watermelon boats.
Yeah, 9.
10. I'm going 10 watermelon boats. No, out of 10.
10, dog.
Not out of 21.
We're
not
doing
doing it out of 21.
anymore.
Nico can't do math, so we're not
wish
going to
we
do
were
out of
doing
21.
10. 10's better. It looks better. Brent couldn't even fucking see the 21. He's like, why are they all grainy? Because they're tiny. Okay? They're tiny on the screen.
All right, I'm doing 9. I'm saying 9.
Yeah.
9 watermelon
All right.
boats.
Say 9. Say
Excellent.
10.
Yeah, it's a 10.
Pretty high score.
There's
All right.
nothing else I
Like
wanted.
and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Make the cocktail.
Make the cocktail.
Leave a comment.
Love
Follow us on
you.
social media.
Goodbye.
Make
Yes.
the content.
Right.
Um,
Leave a comment and you might get shout out next week.
Against your will.
Against
Bye.
your will.